66 million years ago, something about 10 kilometers wide hit Earth near what is now Mexico. Within a very short time, the planet changed. Sunlight dropped, temperatures fell, plants struggled. Food chains began breaking apart. Around 3/4 of Earth's species disappeared. The non-avian dinosaurs were gone, but some crocodile relatives were still here. So what did they have that so many other large animals did not? The first answer seems obvious: water. Crocodiles spend much of their lives in rivers, lakes, and wetlands. Maybe water protected them, but that idea fails quickly. The oceans were full of large reptiles too. Mosasaurs had ruled the seas for millions of years. Some grew more than 10 meters long. They disappeared at the same boundary. So living in water was not enough. Maybe crocodiles survived because they were small. That works better. After the impact, food became much harder to find, and smaller animals generally need less of it. Many surviving mammals were tiny, but crocodile relatives came in very different sizes, and many branches of their family tree disappeared too. There was no simple rule saying, be a crocodile and survive. The first real advantage was energy. Modern crocodilians are ectotherms. They do not burn huge amounts of food to keep their bodies at one constant temperature. That makes them extremely cheap animals to run. A similarly sized mammal uses far more energy simply staying alive. Crocodiles can also slow their metabolism when food is scarce. Now imagine the months after the impact. Fresh plant growth crashes. Many animals that depend on constant feeding suddenly have a problem. A crocodile can wait days, weeks, sometimes much longer. That ability is useful today. In a world where food chains were collapsing, it may have been one of their biggest advantages. But low metabolism was only part of the answer. Crocodiles are also flexible eaters. Modern species can switch between fish, small animals, aquatic prey, and other available food. That matters when an ecosystem changes suddenly. A species built around one narrow food source can run out of options fast. A generalist has more ways to keep going. And then there is the habitat itself. Freshwater food webs had one important advantage. They did not depend only on new plant growth. Rivers, ponds, and swamps already contained leaves, wood, mud, and other organic material. Small organisms could use that stored material. Other animals could eat those organisms. So even when sunlight became limited, some freshwater systems still had old energy left in them. This gave crocodile relatives a rare combination: low energy needs, flexible food, and a habitat that could keep producing something to eat. But here's the important twist. Not all crocodile relatives survived. Their wider family had already existed for more than 150 million years before the asteroid arrived, and they were far more diverse than modern crocodiles. Some lived on land, some were heavily adapted to the sea, some had body shapes that would look almost nothing like a modern alligator. Then the extinction filtered them. Several lineages disappeared completely. Others survived and expanded afterward. A marine group called Dinosaurs even became successful in coastal waters after the extinction. So crocodiles did not survive because their body plan was somehow perfect. The branches that happened to fit the New World best were the ones that remained. And those survivors shared something important. They could live with unstable food supplies. Modern crocodilians show exactly how powerful that can be. They spend huge amounts of time almost motionless. Their normal hunting style is built around patience. They do not need to run across a landscape searching constantly for food. They wait until an opportunity comes close. Today that looks like a hunting strategy. After a global ecological collapse, it also becomes an energy-saving strategy. The trait that makes a crocodile look lazy is part of what makes it so efficient. There is another clue. Crocodiles were not the only survivors with this kind of lifestyle. Turtles made it through too. So did many amphibians. Birds survived as well, although only some bird lineages crossed the boundary. The pattern is not perfect, but it points in the same direction. When ecosystems suddenly became unpredictable, animals that could use shelter, eat different foods, or lower their energy needs had more options. The asteroid did not reward the strongest animal. It rewarded animals that could keep going when the world offered less. That is why calling crocodiles primitive misses the point. Their ancestors experimented with many different shapes and lifestyles. Most of those forms are gone. The survivors were not frozen in time. They were simply attached to a strategy that worked unusually well during crisis. Stay near productive freshwater, use whatever food remains, spend very little energy, and wait. When the world suddenly had much less to offer, needing less became an enormous advantage.